Hello, I'm Drew Callan, Director of Loudspeaker Engineering for Rockford Corporation. This year we've got a full new line of Punch Series woofers, and I'm going to talk about them a little bit. Starting with, if you know our Punch line, we have P1, P2, and P3 in the family. First one we have to look at, just to give you an idea of P1. There's a lot of big changes year over year. Probably the biggest change in the focus we had with everything was the performance. We focused on all the performance and said, okay, how do we get this woofer better? Because we already established a woofer that was very, very class leading in its performance. Well, in doing that, we first and foremost had to get very tangible numbers. We had to get the power handling up. We had to increase the excursion, the power handling, and all the elements that make a subwoofer play louder and cleaner. And so in so doing, the X-Max essentially for a woofer on this woofer on a P1 went from 6 millimeters to about 9 millimeters on a P1.
Wow.
It's a big jump, almost 50% from where we were before. So essentially it's almost like shifting from our P1 to what was our P1 is now what our old P2 was, and our P2 was our old P3, and so forth. So we stepped through that a lot. So a couple of clever things that we did and unique is just simple things, but it actually we've had a lot of great feedback on it. Just as simple, the wire routing on the terminal. You can see the terminal, all I have to do is push my thumb down and wire dresses right out the bottom. I mean, it doesn't get interfered with the mounting hole when you mount a woofer, just something simple. And that came back from feedback from our installers, from in the field, and we're really proud of the fact that we really listen to our dealers and installers, because they give us this tangible, real-world feedback. In so doing, the voice coil size went from 1.5 inches to 2 inches. Power handling went from 150 watts to 250 watts RMS, and it's true Rockford power. And what I mean by that is just we've established a power standard that matches our amplifiers very well. Very real-world power. You can rely on that power and expect. So it's a single voice coil on the P1. The family carries out. We've carried the look we call the flex fit. It's a very simple means of providing, instead of providing just simple hole to put a screw to, we can put a slot in, and when you're mounting a woofer, it's very convenient. You can just drill one hole near where you want it to be, and then hang it, and then adjust it, and then screw it down and secure it in place. This comes with a plastic trim ring, like prior year, to dress it out for those people who don't care for this particular look of the shape of the frame, but it's personal taste is all. On P2, this is probably the single biggest change that we've done. We went from what was a 250 watt RMS woofer, and we stepped it up to 400 watts now.
400 watts on a P2. Wow.
P2. It's a big, big step. So in so doing, you can't just do that and change nothing else. Everything has to complement it. So in so doing, we've changed the coil. The excursion is even greater now. We went from 9 millimeters to 12 millimeters on a P2. And in so doing, we had to also add a secondary spider. And if you notice how far apart these spiders are spaced, for that stability we needed. So it was a big, big step. It's an expense that we put in the material, and the best thing about it is pricing year over year is the same. P1, P2, P3 have no change in pricing.
Wow.
Yet big performance gains. Same terminals, but dual voice coil on the P2. The cone on P1 and P2 is a Kevlar fiber reinforced paper cone, very strong, very light. This is the...
Now, why do you go to paper?
The weight, the strength to weight ratio. The performance you get out of paper when you're looking for true performance gains is paper is probably still one of the best performances for a subwoofer, strength to weight, so long as it's done right, done well. We use Kevlar fiber reinforcing to really make it light and strong, so it really helps the performance. And there's a lot of people out there that are aficionados, and when we talk about using paper, that's like audiophile-esque or more purist in a sense, because the paper, the heritage and the sound quality, there's a lot of people that swear by paper.
Okay.
Polypropylene has its own issues with its gluing and bondability and the prep. There's a lot of benefits to using paper besides just the sonic quality and whatnot.
Okay.
So strength to weight, and that coupled with a Santoprene surround, which is we have a unique tall profile surround. This is where we're introducing our what we call VAST technology. It's our vertical attached surround technique, and essentially we're attaching and bonding the surround in a vertical manner versus a horizontal plane. And by doing that, we're able to get the surround and hence the cone diameter much larger than you could for the same screw hole mounting pattern of a regular woofer. So a cone, on average we're seeing about 20 to 25% SD, cone area gain. So when you increase power handling, you increase the cone area, and you increase the excursion, all those things go directly to performance gains. Significant. SPL, nominal SPL has stayed the same, but the maximum SPL has increased tremendously. So there's big performance gains, and that was the big focus. We developed the current line of woofers about 5 years ago, and in this market, that's almost too long. So it was overdue for a change, and we had to recalibrate the market and do some class-leading performance aspects.
Okay.
So we stepped from P2 to P3. We step into using the same Santoprene surround, lightweight surround, and we step into the same dual spiders or similar dual spiders, double stack magnet, and we use stitched in lead wire, a proprietary technique, and same terminals. The big step that we did is went to an aluminum cone and aluminum dust cap on this product because of the power handling. It needed to dissipate the heat. So this one went from a 500 watt woofer to a 600 watt RMS woofer. So if you look at the family, you go from P1, P2, P3, you've got 250 now, 400 and 600, and then we step above our punch line and step into our power series.